So what do avoidants want from their partner? What is it that they are looking for in a relationship? If you're dealing with an avoidant, especially a dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant that leans heavily dismissive, it may appear like this person doesn't want love and connection and they don't value it. Reality is the polar opposite. Deep down at their core, they want love. They want connection. They want the real thing. But due to their insecurities, they struggle to receive that love and to give it in return. This is a person that was on the receiving end of consistent childhood emotional neglect. Their emotional needs were not met. Now their physical needs were generally met. Food, clothing, shelter, they had those. But their emotional needs, different story. Growing up in households where you don't talk about feelings and their own feelings were rejected and dismissed. Because of this, they developed a wound of shame. Shame is that toxic emotion that says, I'm defective, I'm not lovable. They personalize that neglect and developed a very specific set of insecurities around attachment and love because of that neglect. And they carry this into a relationship. Now, at their core, they really do want that love and affection. It's not a personality disorder, it's an insecure attachment style. People with an insecure attachment style do want love and affection, but due to their insecurities, they can sabotage that love and affection when they actually get it. Now, the relationship that an unhealed avoidant is looking for is the perfect relationship with the perfect partner. It's the relationship that they fantasize about and are constantly in pursuit of. What it is a relationship that does not trigger their attachment wounds. It's a relationship that has no threat of emotional intimacy. They don't have to be vulnerable with their partner. They don't have to talk about heavy emotional topics. It is surface level all the time. It's light. It's fun. It's just lots of friendly, fun banter and validation. Also, the perfect relationship with the perfect partner has no conflict, no disagreements, and no criticism. They're always on the same page. There's never any arguing, disagreeing, fighting, criticism, critiquing, none of it. And lastly, the perfect relationship with the perfect partner that they fantasize about is one where there are no expectations put on the avoidant whatsoever. They are not expected to do anything. They're not held to any standards, meaning they get to come in, get the validation, get the connection when they want on their terms, but they're not expected to give anything of themselves in return. They give of themselves in return when they feel like it, but when they don't feel like it, their partner's not holding them to it. This relationship doesn't exist. It does not exist in the real world. Now, the reason why they're looking for this relationship is, again, that wound of shame. Shame is why they struggle with vulnerability. The fear that largely lies in the subconscious of an avoidant is, if I lower my walls and I let my partner in, my partner is going to discover that I am in fact defective and they're going to reject me. They're going to abandon me. It's actually a masked fear of abandonment. Conflict, same thing. Conflict in their mind equals rejection and abandonment. They couldn't express themselves as a kid. Their feelings and emotions were rejected. So it feels very unsafe to express their needs, feelings, and emotions to a partner. They associate it with rejection. Expectations, it's a very similar thing. They often grew up with a parent or parents that were very demanding, had very high expectations on them. Quite often, a narcissistic parent that's dismissive of emotions and demanding at the same time. So they develop this feeling like they just can't ever live up to expectations, because when there's expectations placed on them, they ultimately disappoint the person and they get exposed as being defective and shameful. All of it ties into the wound of shame. So they're looking for this fantasy relationship that doesn't actually exist. Now, early in a relationship with an avoidant, they think you are that perfect partner. They think that you are that fantasy perfect partner that's going to give them the perfect relationship. And that's because dopamine is flying high. Dopamine is the reward hormone, and it causes infatuation. And it's an important part of the dating process to get us bonded to another person, along with things like oxytocin, the bonding hormone. But that dopamine is causing the avoidant to feel on cloud nine, and it's masking their insecurities. But as the dopamine levels come down, as the honeymoon phase ends, generally between 4 to 8 months, sometimes a little more or a little less, give or take, now the insecurities are now at the surface, and you are no longer that fantasy perfect partner. You're not the perfect relationship because they're getting triggered. And due to that internal wound of shame that they don't want to face, they don't look within, and they think it must be because of you. You must be the wrong person. You must not be that perfect partner that they're constantly in search for. So they go back into dating, trying to find this perfect partner and the perfect relationship that doesn't actually exist. So yes, they do want love. They do want connection. They do want to be valued. But the thing is, due to their attachment wounds, they are in this pursuit of this fantasy perfect relationship that doesn't actually exist. Now, when they get to the point where they're willing to do the inner work, self-reflect, and heal those wounds, go to therapy, things like that, they can actually start to set realistic expectations when it comes to a relationship, lower the walls, and be able to truly bond with a partner, meaning accepting that their partner isn't going to be perfect. And that's okay. But due to those insecurities, until they get to that point, they will be in pursuit of that fantasy relationship. Now, they might sometimes get into a longer term relationship, but when they do, they still protect themselves, emotionally withdraw because their attachment wounds are being triggered, and in the back of their mind, still justifying that it must be that they're married to the wrong person. It's a hard thing to go through, but understand, it's not because of you. It's their insecurities. And it's not that you're not a good enough partner, it's that they're in pursuit of something that doesn't actually exist. So when they tell you things like, oh, relationships should be easy, or, it just shouldn't have to be this much work, or you're just not the right person. Well, there really is no right person and right perfect relationship for them. They're just not aware of it, but they need to come to that conclusion and that understanding on their own. You trying to tell them what's wrong with them is just going to be met with defensiveness, stonewalling, and shutting down. You can't fix them, but understanding what they're looking for is something that doesn't exist helps you stop blaming yourself for the failure of the relationship. Because if you showed up and you did your best and you gave this person your all and they still pushed you away saying these things, it's not a reflection of you or your quality as a partner. And recognizing that both intellectually and emotionally does help you heal, detach, and move